Hi everyone, my name is Glenn, not the character you know as Glenn Gwyn. I'm 27 years old and I have gone 1 year almost going through grief, and I just wanted to talk to everyone, use this platform as some sort of beacon, I guess, to raise awareness in one aspect or another. But I'd like to talk about my year in a nutshell. 16th of March 2020 last year, I celebrated my dad's birthday. Amazing day. We went to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yeah, you can boo me because some of you football fans support Arsenal and Chelsea and all the worst teams in the world. But yeah, so we went to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He had an amazing day. We had an Indian in the evening, an amazing restaurant we went to. You know, one of the best days I think we've had and what he's had in recent memory. 2 days later, he fell ill. We didn't realise what was to come, and he just went downhill from there. And we found out that he had COVID-19, and that's uh, like under unforeseen circumstances. Like we couldn't see each other. We didn't really know what it was, to be honest. Like no one really knew what was going on this time last year, and he just got worse and worse as time went on, and unfortunately, we had to let him go on the 1st of April, which we believe was a April Fool's joke. Like, we haven't seen him. I didn't see him uh, from that point on his birthday. The 16th of March was the last time I saw him. The last time I did, like, the last thing I said to him was, "Thank you for a lovely day. Hope you had a lovely birthday." And he said, "Glenn, we had a smashing day." He dropped me off at my flat where I was living at the time, and he put his hand on my leg and he said, "Thank you, son. That was wonderful." And that was the last I heard, really. The last thing he texted me was, well, he kept telling me he was unwell on the phone and he kept coughing because of COVID. And I just couldn't hear him. So I was like, "Dad, I'm going back to work. I'm going to hang up now." Basically, I didn't think anything of it. You always go and think that your parents are immortal. And that's how I've been living my entire life up until last year when this all happened. Um, so April 1st, he passed away from COVID. Mum isn't supposed to be here either. My mum battled it also. She had COVID also, same household. Um, they were both not in a good way, and my mum somehow survived it with double pneumonia, and somehow there's an angel watching over her. But she's a fighter, my mum, so, what a wonderful lady. And, the one thing that out of all of this that's happened is he's put a roof over my head since leaving the flat and moving back to mum's. And you know what? I've just noticed that why are these cocktail sausages on here? You can tell how raw this is, and I'm not looking at any words on the screen. It's just coming from the heart, and as it is right now. But anyway, being back to being serious, Glenn, because people who do know me, they know I'm a bit of a joker, and they know I'm always that happy, smiley guy and I'm always trying to be positive around people. But I do like to debate and have an opinion, and I'd always like to think I'm right 80% of the time, unless I'm talking to a lady when I can't ever win an argument, basically. But going back to the story, my grief this year, let's go into it. My grief has been, I don't think I've gone through it. And, the day I found out Dad died was the 1st of April, like I said. And the first thing I did when he died was I went on Guitar Hero for 4 to 5 hours. That's the first thing I did, and how I reacted to the shock of losing him within 24 hours. 31st of March, went to hospital, unresponsive, in a coma, organ failure, and the next day you're waiting for that phone call, and you're pacing up and down. You can't relax, and obviously you get that phone call, which was my brother at the time who told me, and he just said he's gone. And obviously I hadn't seen him since his birthday, so that was the last time I did see him. Luckily, that was fantastic memories for me. But when when you the first thing I did was going on Guitar Hero, because that was my coping mechanism, just to listen to some music, blare everything out, like this fuzziness that was going on in my brain, the shock factor that just whooshed through my body. Um, and then, it got dark, it was winter, and, after that 4 to 5 hours play, I played until my fingers went numb, and I sat in silence and I sent him a message and I just said, I'm going to look after mum. And I shouldn't, it made me ball up saying that. So I did, and I sent it to him on his messenger. It got delivered, and it's never been read. Obviously, I mean, I'd freak out if it said it'd be read. I'd literally be like, what the hell? I think he'd be alive. But yeah, so I ended up bawling into my flatmate's arms, my good friend Josh, and I cried straight for about 48 hours, into a pillow, screaming, shouting, waiting for him to go out just so I could scream. I mean, there's no weakness in a man crying. There's no weakness in those kind of emotions. Like, again, we'll go into grief for a second, that there's no good way of dealing with it. There's no answer, no right or wrong. The one thing I despise more than anything through this experience, throughout this whole year, is that people tell you how to grieve. Your way of grieving is different to how I would maybe want to grieve. Like, you shouldn't be telling people what to do or making an assumption of what they may or may not like. Like, you should be telling them to do this and that. Just let it run its course. Asking me how I am every day, I'm the same as every other day. Like, I'm not gonna, I do appreciate people that tell me and come up to me and ask me how I am. But I also appreciate the people who, even if you haven't been there for so long, if you're a good friend of mine and you haven't spoken to me for a year and you're still coming out now to ask me how I am, it's who's there for you in that moment when you need them most. But when someone dies, what I found is I could be inundated with messages, inundated, and I mean I had hundreds of messages. People who I didn't even know came out of the woodwork, those kind of people, taking the high moral ground, using the sympathy card, treading on eggshells because, someone's died. Oh, it's someone that I've known who through my brother's cat's uncle's dog's freaking nephew, I don't know. And they come out of the woodwork and they go, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, Glenn. And what are you sorry for? Did you kill him? And, it's the whole sympathy thing. And you know what? I just block those people because I never had you before in my life and I'm not going to need you now. The way I've dealt with grief this whole entire year, I have moved 100 miles per hour. And I don't think I've stopped once, even think about certain things. I guess I've suppressed it. I think I've, held back. Like, people who have been around me, I will talk about it, and people will say, I'm there for you. I'm so grateful to people who say they're there for me, but you're not in my thoughts. And this is the thing, in these unforeseen circumstances also, like COVID-19 and the lockdown that we're currently in, at the time of recording of 18th of the 2nd, 2021, we have to go through these things and we have to learn on our own. Part of grieving is the price you pay for love. And this is, again, my parents are not immortal. This is what I found out. These are the things that I've learned. The one thing about grief that I have seen that's affected me more than anything, apart from not really going through it because I haven't really gone out there in a big wide world, gone on holidays and done the things that me and Dad would do together. I haven't really done those things because I've been stuck at home. But the one thing that I can take from all of this is how much it hurts to see other people hurt. That's what's affected me. And that's what takes a toll on my mental health. And I've got my history of anxiety and depression and doing some bad things in the past. But at one point or another, I have to remove myself. And that's why people don't really hear from me at the moment, because I need time to myself. I can't give myself to everyone. If I could, like I used to, I would. And I'd be messaging every single person. And that's why I don't blame people who are in their own thoughts also, going through their own shit, basically. I don't blame them for not coming to me, to try and talk. And you've left me to, it's like this and that, it's tit for tat. People I think it's petty when people say, my friends aren't really my friends because they don't message me. Yeah, there's 24 hours in the day and they should message you, but they know they're going through their own thing. They're alone in their thoughts. They could be in a bad mood. They could have, had a really bad phone call. And, you have to learn to deal with those things yourself. No dramas. Learn, shut yourself away and write it all down. What I'm doing right now is something unprecedented that I would probably never do. And I'm inspired to do this, to be honest, after watching my mum do her documentary with Esther Ransom. I'm sure some people have seen it. And, I want to be that beacon also. I want to be that voice. I want to be that person who doesn't be conserved. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything you want to know. I can help people. And, you know, I want people to understand and share their grievance with me and how you've dealt with things in lockdown and how, you know, in this circumstance, there's grief, but then there's losing someone in a pandemic. And that stuff has not been thrown around enough. Yes, you can lose, but not. But during a pandemic where you have to shut yourself away and watch the four walls, this isn't really a choice for us. It's not a choice. I do this because it's a must, and I'm kind of apprehensive going out there anyway now. I don't want to catch anything. As for the naysayers and all the, you know, the people that watch their YouTube videos and watch a Simpsons episode looking at theories and stuff, until you've got a PhD, I'll continue to argue with it until the day I die, until I have no more breath in my lungs, which is the irony behind COVID. Until I have no more breath in my lungs, you are wrong and you are scaremongering people, okay? This doesn't help with people's grief. As a middle fingers up, okay? You're dickheads, basically. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're all dickheads. You're scaremongering people. People who have lost their families, alright? Just because it hasn't happened to you. And I don't mean to turn this grief upside down like this, but this is the mood swing that I suffer with. And I'm just trying to get through to people. You say open your eyes. Open your own eyes. Look what's going on out there. Anyway, so dealing with grief, the only way I deal with it, and it only really comes up to me at night. It always creeps up. You always get that hand on your shoulder in your bed at night. I have a lot of distraction now. I like I said, I've been moving at 100 miles per hour. I've just dived right into distractions. But the one thing I take out of all of this is making people proud. People that are worth my time and energy more than anything. You know, my mum, my family, my dad, the prime example, the main guy that I've looked up to my entire life, and I can't share that with now. You know, I do my best to make people proud. I'm on the precipice of being good and being great. I want to be better. I want to learn. I can't be perfect. No one's perfect. I can't be perfect, but I can be great and I can be a good person and a nice person. None of that be kind crap, trying to cover up what I've done in the past. I can't say be kind because I'm not really that kind of a person, let's be honest. I'm a nice person and I treat people how I want to be treated. If you treat me well, I will treat you better. That's it. And that's all it should be. None of this skin colour crap, all this bisexual, gays, transgender. If you're nice to me, I can debate all of that. You know, we hate on what we don't understand. But if you're nice to me, I'm going to treat you better at the end of the day. So I try and make people proud, and I'm dived right into streaming. I dived right back into what my comfort zone is, talking to people and gaming and, you know, distractions. But these are just tiny little things that fill a void. You know, a void that can never be filled again. You know, your heart is, you can't cope, like, with thought process. And that mechanism that runs down from your brain down to here is, you know, it's triggering. And, you know, again, I haven't really emotionally dealt with things. Not saying, you know, I don't know when that's going to happen. And a year on, it still hasn't happened, because where I accept, I'm also in disbelief. And I'm tired of the people that say to me, well, go to work, that'll make your mind feel better. No, you don't understand my head. Maybe not working is what it works for me. Some people want to be busy, other people want to be busy with things that they have a hobby in, like streaming, for example. People who say to me, you should move on, you can get fucked, basically. Again, I'm going to keep it raw and keep it honest. Get fucked. You have no idea. There's a difference between moving forward and moving on. Moving on means you have reached that end game. You have reached the end. You've made it. I'm never going to move on. I can never move on from loss. Not when you lose a parent either. How you lose a parent and how you move on with it is completely down to you, but don't tell other people to move on, because it doesn't work. Moving forward means you're thinking about them all the time. They're in the back of your head. They're here. They're also here, even at night. But you're getting through. You're pushing. There's reasons to live, reasons to keep going. I'm very lucky that I have a great support bubble. I'm very lucky that I have the most beautiful, supportive girlfriend. Me, I've got the most supportive girlfriend. I'm very lucky to have that. I'm very lucky that I only speak to a couple of people. And I'm very lucky, I can speak to certain people about certain things. There's some subjects that I want to talk to about grief and how I've lost someone because those people have gone through it themselves. And I'll ask for advice if I need to come to you. And then there's other people where I can just have a laugh and a joke and we can speak about whatever we want in that conversation because there is more to life than grief. And that is the distraction that people need. That's the coping mechanism. Anyway, I'm babbling. But yeah, a year on, and it's March. It's going to be March the 16th next month, obviously, because that's what happens. Glenn, shut up. And it's going to be my dad's birthday again. Well, what would have been my dad's birthday. And we just had our first Christmas without him. Didn't go well. I just went to bed early. And what have I learned? Everything I just spoke about. Just to be strong. Strength is from within. Strength is finding motivation. Strength is finding willpower within yourself that you didn't realise you had. And I can be very philosophical at times. I can be quite outspoken. And some people don't like that. I like to think I tell the truth. In most cases, I don't butter anything up. Like I said, I'm an open book. I tell everyone how it is. If I have a problem, I'll tell you. If I don't, if I say to someone, cut the drama, I mean it. Like, cut your drama. Your life is short, and then you die at the end of it. That's exactly, how profound life is. And at the minute, if you watch over 100,000 people dying out there, it's not for no reason. And we're going to enjoy our lives again, hopefully. So, this is probably just part one of everything I've gone through. And I just wanted to cram everything in because there's so much to talk about and so many subjects that I've just probably lost myself in what I'm saying at this point. But yeah, so you could turn a blind eye to this video. You might not see this video. It's a very long video. But if you do see it, please reach out to me. Comment. Like it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're going through. Like how you've been dealing with it. The reason of this whole video was just to talk to someone. I'm trying to reach out to other people here. I want to hear from a third party perspective what you have gone through and why and how you continue, how you keep going, how you take that word grief, bury it, water it, and build a new foundation where you can continue. That's what the word is, continue. So yeah, that was everything I had to say. I hope everyone has a lovely day and a lovely evening wherever you're watching this in the world. And I'll see you all very, very soon, where Glenguin, the guy with the mask that comes out and pretends to be a penguin, goes back to live streaming and goes back to gaming and has a good time and has a chat with everyone. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you all soon.